What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. But before I go further in this video, I will have to say breaking news and a potential spoiler alert. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, this is pretty much what's being discussed and potentially is going to be happening and has been finalized and stuff like that. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, please click off the video now. But if you guys are intrigued and you want to stay tuned and want to find out the news just like me, stay tuned. But let's get into it with Vince McMahon. The thing is, Vince McMahon is out and Triple H is in, as Triple H is taking over full creative for WWE. And I know a lot of the fans right now are cheering and they're partying like it's 1999, and I'm one of them. Man, I honestly thought that this day would never happen, but it's like we didn't think it was going to come at all, or if it did, it would be very like later in the future and stuff like that. But it's actually happened. So we're gonna get into this report by Comic Book, and give you guys and go over the article and then give you guys my thoughts and opinions and stuff like that after I read the article. But from this is from comicbook.com. Report Triple H, not Vince McMahon, holds WWE creative control going forward. This concern grew earlier this year that Triple H's creative reign over WWE would be short-lived. The WWE chief content officer took over the sports entertainment's giant day-to-day operations in July 2022, following Vince McMahon's initial retirement. The next 6 months that followed was one of the most champion time periods by fans, as many praised WWE's refreshed roster, engaging storylines, and an overall in-ring product. McMahon ended his brief retirement in January, using the shareholding power to re-elect himself to chairman of the board. Once WWE's sale to Endeavor Content was announced in April, McMahon's fingerprints were all over Monday Night Raw and WWE SmackDown once again. The months that followed involved a lot of tiptoeing. Some episodes of WWE TV showed signs of Triple H leading the charge, while others have glaring signals that McMahon was puppeteering the show. WWE's sale to Endeavor was finalized in September for the first time in his WWE tenure. McMahon was now answering to a higher power rather than being the higher power himself. While Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel has made it clear that he wants to keep McMahon around in the TKO era, his involvement may be strictly from a business perspective. Triple H knighted by Endeavor to run WWE creative. According to PW Insider, there is an internal belief within WWE that Vince McMahon is no longer involved in WWE creative. The report adds that WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque has been basically knighted by Endeavor to lead the creative charge. Publicly, Triple H would never lost his power. WWE CEO Nick Khan had said in multiple interviews earlier this year that the former WWE champion's role was unchanged by Endeavor's sale or McMahon's return. Specifically, Vince articulated that Paul Levesque remains the sole chief creative officer. So Khan said, Paul and Vince have a family relationship, a relationship that stands back to the mid-90s. Paul's in charge of creative. If he wants input from Vince or Vince has ideas, then he and Paul are going to communicate. That's always going to be the case. We're lucky to have Vince. We're lucky to have Paul in control of creative. W returns to programming, which this is the time we recorded the video last night. But yeah, you guys. So pretty much Endeavor has pretty much handpicked him to pretty much be the full-on creative mind for WWE going forward. Triple H will be running creative pretty much going forward. It won't be a situation where it's fully Vince anymore. I think they made it clear that Vince, he might still be around, but not in a creative standpoint, pretty much just from a business standpoint, because that's what they said from the interviews from one of the people over from Endeavor. So it's going to be very interesting, you guys. And you got to wonder that if this Friday, that is his announcement that he is taking over full on duties as chief content creator going forward in WWE. I wonder if he's gonna if that's gonna be one of the talking points or focal points going to SmackDown. I know there's been so many ideas that Triple H wants to do, and I feel like with Vince around, it probably wouldn't be as possible. And you got to think that, like, since Triple H, came back, he has been doing some great things since being part of WWE. And like they said, there've been more engaging storylines. There've been more things to get your seat and teeth into, and it's brought back a lot of fans in the process. So I think that's something that's good, definitely gonna be on the lookout for people. And for not only that, but it's like I also see that he wants to could do like a tribute, a storyline tribute to Bray Wyatt or something like that. RIP to Bray Wyatt again. He's gone too soon, but he wants to have a storyline or have something to still have Bray Wyatt's presence still being felt in the WWE. And I would love them for Triple H to actually be able to do that. So I do think this is something that I think a lot of fans are probably going to be okay with, because they understand what Triple H can bring to the table. He is one of the more creative minds that WWE has. He's has a passion for whatever he does. He's definitely been, I think, ever since he's taken over, it's been for the best. Everything has definitely been on a more positive side, from the backstage morale, from the talent, and even the whole product that we see on TV has definitely improved with Triple H being in charge and stuff like that. So I definitely think this is something that is a big plus for WWE for sure. Not to say that Vince McMahon is bad or anything. It's just like, the thing with Vince is he's just out of touch, and the thing is, when someone's out of touch and they don't really know what the fans want, it kind of shows, and it doesn't really. It's not a good business decision to have somebody run your company that's out of touch with the people who are paying for your talent and stuff like that. So I'm saying you gotta kind of give your talent chances to do stuff. So and another thing that you got to think about is, if he's actually being part of creative, does that mean he's going to bring back some released talent? I know that's been another talking point as of late, him possibly bringing back talent that was released. Maybe this time around, if he actually is full on creative and not like before where he had only half of creative and Vince McMahon was still doing it, maybe this time around it maybe will be a fresh light for a lot of talent, and maybe some of the ones that are still there. So we would just have to see, but I do think this is definitely a big plus for the WWE overall, like I said. So comment down below, let me know, what are your guys' thoughts and opinions on Triple H being able to run WWE creative fully. He has full creative for WWE. What are your thoughts and opinions on that? Do you guys think this was a good decision? Do you think this was a bad decision? What are some guys do you think Triple H should do now that he has pretty much the ability to have full creative in WWE now? What are some things you would love to see? But make sure you super kick that like button, Superman punch that post notification button, and spear that subscribe button. We're on the road to 700. We're at 667 right now, so we're getting closer to the milestone. But I appreciate you guys kicking it with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.